Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hello. I can hear you. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Joanne?
I am good, thanks.
That's good.
Is there a handout for tonight, or?
Yeah. Okay. I thought I gave it to you. Hang on a second here. Let me turn this off. I'm sorry. I usually try to post it.
It was not in the
I'm sure. Just
thingy.
I have the reason why I do them, like I'm doing them this year for already next year, because you said just so help me next year, right?
As long as you're doing it, I will be there with you.
Oh, you're so sweet. I love you so much, Joanne. I just want you to know that.
Aww.
Okay, I'm putting it in the chat box. So I already have it all planned for next year.
Awesome.
Because if I do something at the last moment like this, I'll do something stupid like forget to give you the handout. So can you click on the handout I put in the chat?
I did.
Okay, I can't understand what you said. You're sounding
Oh,
like a
sorry.
machine. Okay.
Well, I was letting somebody in. Yep, I got it.
Okay, great. There's a couple that I got from Nature Sunshine after that, so there's like maybe such a bit. There's a couple that aren't on there, but most of them are.
Okay.
Hi, Bernadine. I have a friend whose mother's name is Bernadine, but I don't know. There's an E at the end. So is it Bernadine? Short E or long E? I mean, short I or long I? I don't like calling people by the wrong names.
Short.
Okay, Bernadine. Okay. Welcome, Bernadine. Okay. Who else is here? Well, we have, oh man, Anouk. Is that how you pronounce your name, Anouk? I hope so. If I batter up your names, I apologize. And then there's Karina. Joanne, I know that one. And Brene, newlywed Scout. Or Scott. Hello, Brene, newlywed.
Congratulations.
Yeah. When we bring you in as a panelist, don't worry, you're not going to have to talk or anything like that. We just do that so you can write questions in the chat box. It's easier for Joanne to read them. When you ask them in the question box, sometimes we miss them because it's like a whole different thing. It's just, and then it's easy to miss them because it like, I don't know why they have it set up like that. Do you, Joanne? It's just really inconvenient, isn't it?
It's horrible, and when you're in the other place, it's like you're in punishment because then you can't see what's going on in this box.
Right. So when you guys come in here, don't worry, we don't expect you to speak, although you're more than welcome to speak if you want to. But it's so that you can. Hi, who's that?
It's Brene. I couldn't hear. I mean, you couldn't hear me when I said thank you.
No. So how's married life?
Married life is fantastic.
So you still like him? Way to go.
She said, I still like you. Yes, I do.
I think your marriage already lasted longer than my average marriage lasts.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So I'm
Well,
gonna
I'm
mute
happy for
myself.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
okay, if everybody comes tonight, and you never know. Like last night, there were 7 people who signed up, and how many people were in here? Because I think there was more than 7 people in there. Do you happen to know, Joanne?
I think it was about 16.
Okay, so 7 signed up, 16 showed up. Tonight we have 37 people signed up. So I don't know. Sometimes there's less. There's usually only about a third of the people come, because the other people forget about it and they email me the next day. Oh no, I forgot about it, which I understand because I do stuff like that all the time too. So I don't know how many people are coming, but you're only going to be able to let the first 25 in the room that they can use the chat box. If you try to do any more than that, it kind of messes things up. So just do 25, okay, Joanne?
Okay.
Then we will have to see after that. Okay, I guess it's time to start. I apologize. I didn't realize it was that time already. All right, so let's get started. This is only the second time I did this class. I did it on Monday for a private one. So let's get started. Ask a lot of questions. That's my disclaimer saying don't stop medicine. Don't say, okay, I'll never go to a doctor again. There's no reason why the medical profession and herbalists can't work together. So that's what all that's about. So the questions and all the material that I go through today is because on Facebook, I posted, what would you like to know? And people through Facebook and emailed me, I'd like to know this, I'd like to know about that, what's the difference between that, and so on. So if you have questions that we aren't going to cover tonight, feel more than welcome to ask them, because that's what makes the class good. Hey, Joanne, say something brilliant.
Okay. I'm really excited about this class too. I have been using CBD oil for a while myself and done some research on my own, so I'm excited for an actual full class on learning. I don't know if any of you have used CBD either on yourself or in your practice, if you're practitioners. But I've also used the hemp oil, so there's so much great benefits from it.
Well, since that was a great intro to what I want to start out with. Way to go, Joanne. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay. So a lot of people say, what's the difference between cannabis oil, marijuana, hemp, and so on? So I'm going to use an example of a rose to explain it. A rose is a certain genus of a plant. So you have like tomatoes, you have roses, you have parsley, you have so it's the same group. There's roses. Then there's different species within that. So you will have climbing roses, you will have bush roses, you will have long stem roses. They're all roses, but they're in themselves their own category, as it were. That's how it is with cannabis. Cannabis is the genus. Hope I pronounced that right. Then marijuana and hemp are 2 of types of cannabis. There's like 1,000 different types out there, but they're broken down into basically marijuana and hemp. And what makes them one over the other isn't so much even what they look like. I watched a video that showed that these people had I guess they were drug enforcement, had pulled somebody over and was ready to arrest them and stuff like that. And here, after they were arrested and did all that stuff, they tested and they found out it wasn't marijuana, it was hemp that they had. And hemp is legal to grow. Matter of fact, the school district in this area that my grandkids go to is called Hempfield. Because at one time, all around here and where the school was, they grew hemp. But the hemp that they grew, they used for ropes and clothing and paper and stuff like that. The difference between marijuana, and that's not even really the correct name for it, but I'm going to use most common names. The difference between marijuana and hemp is the amount of THC and CBD there are in each of them. If a plant has more than 20% THC, or 20% or more, it is considered marijuana, what people call marijuana. But usually there's a lot less CBD in with it. Hemp, sometimes also called industrial hemp, has very low 0.3%. That's not even 3%, that's 0.3%. It has THC in it. Matter of fact, so low that if you take a prudent amount, usually no matter what drug test you get, you're not going to be able to tell that you have taken hemp. Now, if you take oodles of it, I'm not sure. In my research, there was controversy whether or not you can, if it'll pick up in a drug test if you use an excessive amount or not. But the average person, you wouldn't find it. And I've used the hemp oil for years, and it never made me high. But the hemp has a lot more CBD oil in it. There are hundreds of different good things in cannabis plant or hemp. And we're going to talk mostly about the hemp tonight. We're not going to talk about the marijuana. And because of that reason, it's best to use the whole hemp plant. Some people call it full spectrum. Nature's Sunshine calls it whole spectrum, and I'll tell you in a minute why they do that. I think it's kind of silly, but they do it. But we use the whole plant. So from the ground up, every part of the plant is used, and the oil is extracted from. And I like that a lot because a long time ago, I don't know if you remember back in high school, you learned about people were traveling on boats to America, and a lot of them, the sailors would get scurvy, where the blood would leak out of the tissue, and they'd end up losing arms and legs and dying. Scurvy can be fatal. But the people who came from England usually didn't get scurvy. They weren't really sure why. Then someone says, oh, you know what? They always carry lime, L-I-M-E, like the fruit, like the green equivalent of a lemon, the lime. So they started calling people from England limeys because they would always take limes on their boat. Well, they found out that these people didn't get scurvy. So scientists, as they are, they start taking it all apart and they go, it's because there's vitamin C in the lime that prevents the scurvy. So they would isolate, so that you were just getting vitamin C, and they were giving it to people, and it helped a little bit, but there's still a lot of people that are getting scurvy from it. They went back to the drawing board and go, okay, let's kind of reformulate this, and they did more research, and they said, you know what? It is the bioflavonoids with the vitamin C that prevents scurvy. And it did. It seemed to help a lot of more people, but there are still some people getting scurvy. They went back to the drawing board another time, and they said, there's rutin in the limes. So rutin plus the bioflavonoids plus the vitamin C prevents scurvy. And that seems to be correct. Whenever people take vitamin C with bioflavonoids / rutin, they usually don't get scurvy. But at the same time, the people who are eating lime weren't getting scurvy. Man didn't even know about bioflavonoids or rutin. Actually, they didn't even know about vitamin C. This is the discovery of vitamin C. But they didn't even know this. It took decades for them to figure this whole thing out. While if you ate limes, you didn't get scurvy. So I like the fact that Nature Sunshine, and any good company really, uses the whole plant, because there's so many constituents in these plants, so we don't know what they're all for. We don't know all the benefits. We don't know if you take A molecule and B molecule and C molecule together, it works. But if you take like A and C or A and B, it doesn't work. So this is really important. If you're going to look for a company that you use the CBD oil, you want the whole spectrum to make sure that we have all the parts that gives the benefit. Okay, there's benefits for marijuana. Some people use marijuana, especially if they have PSTD, although hemp oil or CBD oil helps with that as well. But it appears, unless you want to get high, that this is what you want, is a CBD. The hemp oil that I have been using for a long time, years and years now, it took me a long time to find a company that was organically raised, non-GMO. They didn't use hexane gas and all, that had a decent hemp oil. It seriously took me probably about 50 or 60 hours of research, heavy-duty research, before I found a company that was good enough to, they had a good enough oil that I would give it to my grandkids. The hemp oil is made from the seeds only. The seeds do not have CBD, nor does it have THC. This is a little bit better because the CBD does work better. Okay, any questions so far?
No questions yet.
Okay. Any other board people? Or this is all new to them. And remember, if you have, I learned this, please tell me, because I do not declare that I am an expert on this at all.
There's a question. What CBD oil were you recommending?
Before, I didn't recommend CBD oil. I knew the benefits of hemp oil because I do a lot with the nervous system, the myelin sheathing in the brain, and people were using flaxseed oil, borage oil, blackcurrant oil, and evening primrose oil. And then I had enough people that said, you know what, I'm using hemp oil, and I'm feeling better on that. So I was suggesting hemp oil before. The CBD oil, of course, I don't have a class about anything, or I don't suggest anything unless I try it on myself first. I've been doing it for a couple months now. But I have only used Nature Sunshine. I researched a bunch of other companies, and I wasn't satisfied with the quality of it. And I'm not saying that Nature Sunshine is the only company that has a decent CBD oil. I'm not. But it's one that I trust the company. I mean, what is it, next year they're going to be a company for 50 years. They are the first company that ever put herbs in a capsule. So, I mean, we're talking a long-standing company that has, they've been certified by Forbes as one of the top companies with integrity. They have gotten, I don't know how many years in a row, Herb Manufacturer of the Year awards. So they're a really, really good company. But I still researched it because that's kind of how I am. So although there are companies out there that I'm sure are good, now that I have a really good one, I'm not going to be doing any more research. So before I would tell people, CBD oil is good for you, do a lot of research, but I didn't actually have a company I could suggest. Okay, any other questions? And I do like questions, honest. So don't ever feel kind of... I'm sorry, what, Joanne?
Yep. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it for now.
Okay. Whenever you see the light green with a line underneath it, that means this is the place where I got the information. There's different kinds of ways that people process the hemp. Some people grow the hemp inside of greenhouses, and then there's others that grow it outside. When they grow it outside, they usually are really into health itself, and they understand the plant, and they only take one cutting off of the plant. There's some that grow it inside, and they'll take up 5 cuttings in a year off of the same plant, which I'm sure you can tell that it would be a little more diluted. Although there's some states that you're not allowed to grow some marijuana or cannabis in your house, whichever one you want it to be, to grow more than a couple pots at a time, you really need to do a greenhouse to do it legally, or have a license. And there's very few companies out there now that do it, because to get a license to grow it is $100,000 just to get it, to grow it. So there's a lot of greenhouses that are growing it illegally. That's something else that I would look at. Do they have a license to grow it? Because just like I can have a garden, which my garden's like, we eat from it. You know, it's a good garden. My brother is a gardener that, oh my goodness, his stuff tastes better and they're richer, and I'm sure there's more nutrients because he knows a lot more than what I do. So you want someone who knows their stuff. Also, there are female and male plants, and this is something kind of unique. They're gender fluid. So a female plant can be female for a while, then turn to male, and if needed, go back to female, which I thought kind of strange. But most of the potency is in the male plant, but they have discovered that there's also different characteristics in the male plant. So ideally, to use both the male and the female, maybe a little heavier on the female is what I would do. But using both, again, will give you different benefits. So you don't just take the hemp or the cannabis and chop it all up and take it. You don't get very many benefits from that. You really need to extract the oil. And that's true for a lot of things like fish oil, evening primrose oil. You know, that's the part that you really want to get the good stuff from. So there's two main ways of extracting oil. One is they use olive oil or coconut oil. And the benefit to that is it has mid-chain triglycerides, which helps keep it emulsified. So of the two, this is kind of what you want rather than the alcohol. Alcohol is quicker, cheaper, but not necessarily better. Also, whenever they do the extraction, you want to make sure they don't go over 200 degrees. Because whenever they do that, it messes up. Just like if you take any oil and you fry it, have it up too high, it will damage some of the volatile oils and nutrients that are in it. Then here's just, if you want any of these, you can just go on YouTube and do a bunch of research yourself. But these are the ones that are some of my favorites. They're really good. If you want a list of these, all you do is you email me or email Joanne. And Joanne, I'll send these to you. And we can give you the links. You can just click on them. Okay.
Yeah.
We learn about CBD oil, which is, and I'm going to say it right probably the first time after that. For some reason, my mouth just doesn't want to work. Cannabidiol, which is CBD oil, sometimes known as CB1. That's one of the types of nutrients that are known from cannabis. Tetrahydrocannabinol is THC, that's the part that makes you high. And then there's cannabinol, or CB2. They do different things. The way that I have seen it explained, so you can understand, although there are three things that sound very close together, I wish they would have kind of changed it a lot more than what they did. It'd make it a little bit easier. They each have different keys. Just like I cannot use my house key to start my car to open up my daughter's door. You know, each key is specific. And so it is with the constituents of cannabis. There's over 110 known cannabinoids in cannabis or hemp. So that's why I say you want the whole plant, because they know what 3 of them are good for. Well, how about the other 107? Because the study of this is relatively new. Matter of fact, not too many years ago, like in 1935, they used to be able to smoke pot and grow pot yourself. There was not a whole lot of ruling on it, and then they decided the FDA decided to classify it as a Schedule I drug, which means it can be very addictive, which I don't agree that it's very addictive, and that it has absolutely no medicinal properties in it at all, which now we know is totally false. They just had no idea. So you want something that has CBD, and we learn a lot about that. CBD helps with the brain, Alzheimer's, PSTD, schizophrenia, lungs, muscles, digestive organs, and liver. This is the one that people usually use. They know a lot about for epilepsy. But the cannabinol is also good for the immune system. It also is an anticonvulsant, antispasmodic, anti-inflammatory. It's good for the bone marrow, skin, pancreas, liver, and so on. And this is the one that really helps with anxiety and promotes sleep. So if you're going to buy a CBD oil, you want to make sure that it also contains CBN. Again, don't isolate your limes. So being keys, let's say we have locks all through our body. We have a lock in the brain, the nervous system, the spine, the spleen, the pancreas, so on. These will work at different places throughout the body. In 1992, which isn't that long ago, they discovered that there is something called Endocannabinoid System, or called ECS. We actually have receptors in our cells. So let's say this is a cell. We have receptor-like things that holds on to cannabinoids. Our body can produce a little bit of cannabinoids. The newer anatomy books are coming out. They used to have the respiratory system, the reproductive system, and so on. They are now including the endocannabinoid system because it is its own system. It appears that our body was meant to somehow ingest or take into it cannabis. I know of no other system known so far. Who knows? We're discovering new things all the time. But I don't know of a system like endo broccoli system or endo tomato system. But this is a system that specifically uses the cannabinoids. I think it's pretty cool. And they found out that the system, the ECS system, has a lot to do with the physiological. It can affect appetite. So a lot of people that take CBD oil say, you know what? I'm not hungry all the time. I know some people that say, I've lost weight because I'm just not hungry like I always used to be starved if I was getting under stress, especially stress eating. They don't have that anymore. It affects your mood, memory, and pain perception. If you break a leg, it's going to hurt. Let me use this as a better example. You have two little kids, twins, and they're running around, and they both fall down. One gets up and giggles and maybe rubs his head and just runs on and goes on and does his thing. The other one cries and seems to be in much more pain. Even if the pain or the impact was the same, the way their body perceives the pain can be different. And these oils seem to help nullify the depth of pain. So a lot of people will take and say, man, my joints don't hurt anymore. I would still eat a good diet. This isn't the cure-all. I would still eat a good diet and stuff like that. But if it is going to help alleviate the pain without doing damage to the body and to the liver, so much the better. So any questions about the ECS, endocannabinoid system?
No questions.
Okay. There's something in the body called terpenes. Terpenes have a lot of benefits. There are a lot of different kinds of oils and plants. Matter of fact, they have so far found out that there's 20,000 variation of terpenes. They're aromatic, which means they smell. Matter of fact, what's the stuff you clean paintbrushes with? Turpentine? Turpentine, thank you very much. Turpentine contains terpenes. Now, I'm not saying take your CBD oil and take a swig of turpentine, because that's not a good idea. But it kind of gives you the taste or the smell of terpenes. They're volatile oils, and they're found in plants, and they're usually found in the plants before, scientists believed that it's because a strong odor would protect them from being eaten by a bug or by, like a cow or something like that, that it would protect them. But now they're finding out maybe not. There's a lot of benefits in the body as well that the terpenes produce. There's 100 of different kinds of terpenes in cannabis. So that's, again, in different parts of the plant. So you want to use the whole plant. And this is where it's really cool. They found that terpenes actually helps the receptor sites. So let's say you have a camera and you want to take a picture. Every once in a while you'll blow on the lens and clean it off to make it a little bit clearer. Or I know what, even better. My kids used to have a Nintendo game and it started acting all wonky and they'd take it out and they'd blow on it to help the reception a little bit better. Well, they have found out that terpenes do that to the receptor sites in our body. They also often help with inflammation. And this is the really beneficial part for anyone who wants to work with their memory or Alzheimer's or any kind of mood disorder or anxiety, OCD, things like that. The terpenes help the oil cross the blood-brain barrier. There's a barrier between the blood and the brain so that everything doesn't go to your brain very easily. It's a way of protecting the brain. But the bad thing is sometimes it also keeps the nutrients from going to the brain. Well, these terpenes can actually help cross that blood-brain barrier so more nutrients can get to the brain. Now, I personally would not take CBD oil with terpenes in it and do like cocaine, because then, some cocaine gets to the brain, but even more will get to the brain. So if you're on, or if you know anyone who does some heavy-duty stuff, I would probably not add this. But if you're trying to get healthy, which I'm sure most of you are, it can really work for you. It can really help. I have tried, I didn't take a lot of CBD oil, but my daughter has been giving it to my grandkids. And we tried different ones, and there's a couple of the ones I have tried, just once, I didn't use them, but tried them. And some tasted kind of like turpentine, not exact, I don't know, I never drank turpentine, but the way you would perceive or imagine turpentine taste, it's not wonderful. And then some of them had no taste at all because they took the terpenes out so that people would say, oh, that's a better tasting one. But then you don't get the benefits from it. I have found that I take the terpenes, I take the CBD oil and I mix it with 2 tablespoons of cottage cheese. And I actually like the taste. I don't know what is about cottage cheese. I know cottage cheese isn't the best for you, but 2 tablespoons isn't going to kill you. And some people that can just take it straight, they can. I tried putting in juice and applesauce and thick. I personally didn't like it, but I'm a real wuss when it comes to stuff like that. Okay. Another thing besides the terpenes is turmeric. I don't know about other companies, but Nature's Sunshine adds turmeric, or a lot of people know it as curcumin, in their CBD oil. Not all of it, but the most of the oil is CBD oil. And they do that because there is an enzyme that the body produces called COX-2. And what COX-2 does is it kind of blocks the receptor sites from holding on to the CBD oil. And of course, it also helps with inflammation and stuff like that a little bit too. So I really like that they put the turmeric in. At first I was, I'm not so sure. But after I did a lot of study, I found out that the entourage effect of the turmeric is very helpful. Most oils, like vitamin A, D, E, any kind of regular oils, need to really be taken with a protein. The CBD, because it's mixed with the mid-chain triglycerides, are kind of already soluble in a way that the body can be transported by the blood. So I asked Craig Daly this. I said, do you need to take CBD oil with a protein? And he went and asked the scientists and the experts, and they said, you know what? It may help a little bit, but it's not necessary. So it's not like if you take vitamin E, a lot of vitamin E, and you're going to end up with a fatty liver. But it does help you absorb it a little bit better if you eat it with a meal like eggs or butter or, something that it'll help emulsify it a little bit. Also, this is big for any oils that you use. There's something called hexane gas. Hexane gas comes from a gas that comes from petroleum as they process it. And they put it in tanks, they compress it, and they put it in tanks. The oil, after they extract it, they have to transport it and then put it in bottles and stuff like that. And the oil is thicker than what water is. So it takes a longer time. And to speed up the process, because some people, the more you make, the more you sell, the more you make, money-wise. So some people use the hexane gas to force the oil through the tubing quickly so they can make more money. Well, Nature, Sunshine, and any good company will never use hexane gas with their processing. Because although the FDA says it's generally regarded as a safe substance, there are studies that show that it actually can cause cancer. And it comes from petroleum, which is highly, highly toxic. You always see whenever there's been an oil spill, all the fish die and all the animal dies and stuff like that. And they make sure that they use stuff to clean the animals off completely, even if they haven't been dead, knowing that if they absorb those toxins from petroleum, that sooner or later they'll end up with some bad disease and die. So there's a lot of research showing that hexane gas should not be used. Actually, if I was younger, had more little time in my hands, I would probably fight to get hexane off the grass, generally regarded as a safe substance, off that list. So any questions about any of this stuff?
No questions yet.
Wow. Okay. Alrighty. A lot of people say, do I need CBD oil or not? If you're on a good, healthy protocol and you're feeling great and you're getting all the benefits that you want, then probably you can do without it, because it is expensive. But it appears from the people I've talked to, and again, I've only been working with CBD, Nature Sunshine CBD now, for like 4 or 5 months. Actually 6 months, I guess. 6 months. I didn't want to do it the first day it came out because I wanted to use myself as a guinea pig. I wanted to be able to say, I know this, this, and this, my personal experience. But from the other people that I've worked with that have been taking it, and the people that took it before I ever started taking it, just testing it out but taking it, tells me that whatever treatment they're on, it seems to amplify it. They'll say, I'm taking herb X to help condition Z, and when I add the CBD oil, it worked so much better. So if you're satisfied where you're at, then I would stick with it. You know, what is it? You can't build a better mouse trap or whatever. So if it's working, don't mess around with it. But if you're saying, I feel somewhat better, but man, I'd like to feel even better, then add the CBD to whatever protocol you're on and see if it does for you what it appears to do for a lot of other people. Okay, the entourage effect. I don't know why they don't just use really simple words for these things. We used to call it the synergetic effect. If you add 2 plus 2, you get 4. The synergetic is if you add 2 plus 2, you get 5, because it works better together. That wasn't quite good enough for them, so they found out that synergetic is pretty good, but 2 plus 2 will now equal 7 if you get the right nutrients. So let me explain this a little bit because it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Let's say you want to build a house, and you go down the street and you pick up 3 guys standing along the street and say, I want you to come here and build a house for me. So you have 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. They will build a house at a level of 3. And how good it is, how fast it is, and things like that. If, however, you have one guy off the street plus an expert plus a really hard worker, you won't end up with just a 3 building. It will be a little bit better done because the expert, it'll be done a little bit quicker because of the hard worker. So instead of a 3, you may end up with a building that's a 4. Entourage is even more than that. It's like having an expert and an expert and a hardworking person that have worked together for years and know, okay, this is your job, this is my job, and they've really got it down to be very effective, very efficient. You may end up with like a 6 in the speed and the quality of the building. So I hope that made sense. I hope you're not thinking, oh yeah, she's smoking that other kind of cannabis, because I'm not. Does everybody understand what I'm trying to say here, explaining the entourage effect?
Yes.
Okay. And a big part of that is the fact that they use medium chain triglycerides. It helps the body absorb more, more of the CBD oil into the bloodstream so it can go where it needs to go. And this, in part, is why you can use it without a protein. Although protein, I still take mine with a protein. I take mine with a little bit of cottage cheese so that, why not? This stuff's expensive. So you might as well get as much of as you can. I mean, I'm one of these people that I cut open my toothpaste and put my toothbrush in there to get every bit out. I'm a cheap, very, very cheap human being. So that's why I like to know that MCTs are in this product. Okay. So as I said, cannabis was and still is to this day classified as a Schedule I drug, meaning they say it has no benefit, which I say is wrong, and a potential for abuse. And I do know that smoking pot, people can abuse it. My friends from back home when I was young that smoke pot to this day, they've lost their ambition, their drive. It has changed them. I'm not someone saying that, I'm not cutting them down. I'm not saying that anyone who uses marijuana is a bad person, because they're not bad people. Some of them I love dearly. But it has changed them over the last, I'm 63, so the last 40-some years, 45 years. It has changed them. They don't see it, but I can see it. But the CBD oil does not have hardly any of the THC. Okay, here's some studies to show they're actually doing clinical trials for epilepsy. So here's some of the videos that you can watch. Mostly now they are doing clinical trials on pain and epilepsy. Although people tell me it helps with their mood, their immunity, and all these other things. But these are clinical trials to say, oh, yep, we did double blind, we did all the things that the scientists say. They can make it foolproof that you know for a fact if it works or not. These are some of the studies. During my research, I found out that, and this is something I didn't get everywhere, that CBD oil can interact with birth control and blood thinners. So if you're on birth control, I would not take more than a recommended amount of the CBD oil. If you're on a blood thinner, I would notify your doctor and say, I'm on a blood thinner. I want you to test my blood because I want to increase some or add some CBD oil and see if you need to adjust my medicine. And that's actually true with a lot of oils. Same with fish oil and stuff like that. Vitamin E. These things tend to thin the blood a little bit. So you don't want to be taking a blood thinner to the max and then add something that thins your blood, because you could bruise easily. If you'd be in an accident, you could bleed profusely, Typically, I am told from my research, or I have discovered from my research, if the person takes what's on the bottle, the birth control and the blood thinners are not a biggie. Probably why the precaution is not on any of the bottles. Even Nature Sunshine's bottle doesn't have it. Because it's only if you take a huge amount. But for your own thing, if you want to have a little less Brene, you want to have a little brunette. I don't know, Brene, that would be a girl. Brandon, run around. Nah, just kidding. Teasing her because she just got married. All right. Just watch that. I thought this was so funny. I changed the word a little bit. Currently, we are infusing toilet paper with CBD oil so you can all calm your butts down. That was the word I changed. All right, so how do you take it? If you swallow it, just swallow it, and like I put it in cottage cheese, and I just eat it, because I really don't like the taste of it. Has anybody tasted CBD oil?
I have.
Do you like the taste of it?
It's not great.
Okay.
Tastes like dirt.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the person. My grandkids say, oh, it's nothing, Mama. It has very little taste at all. well, I've got taste buds for it or something. I don't really like the taste of it. I can
Karen
tolerate
says
it.
I'm sorry, there's a lag again.
I know. I'm
Karen
sorry
says the taste is not bad.
Yeah, and a lot of people tell me that the taste is not bad. I don't like it. But if the taste isn't bad for you, if you put it under your tongue, it can be absorbed right into the bloodstream from the blood vessels under your tongue. This is a very efficient way to get something in the bloodstream very quickly. This is how my daughter does. My grandkids are bowlers. They're actually very good bowlers. Many times they win like first prize. They're very, very good. And my one granddaughter is a perfectionist. And whenever she is up for a bowling tournament that has the possibility of like a scholarship attached to it, she gets a little bit intimidated. And my daughter would put it under her tongue, and within seconds, she's seeing the benefits. If you swallow it, you don't see it within seconds, because it has to go through the digestive system, go through the intestines, into the bowel, through the liver, and then into the bloodstream. But if you put it right under your tongue, it appears to work more quickly. I ask questions about everything. What does the word hemp mean? All it means is quality hemp. They took the Q off the quality and they added it to the hemp.
There's a question.
Okay.
Someone's asking, what about topical applied oils?
They get right to the tissue. So, although some of it can get in the bloodstream, like I'll tell you a story about the night stuff that works very quickly and it seems to get in the bloodstream right away. But like, let's say you have a bad knee and it hurts. If you put it on topically, it will help that area, but it's not the most efficient way of getting it through the bloodstream. Your wrist, the bottom of your feet, around your neck, under your tongue, seems to get in the bloodstream more quickly than other places. So if you have a sore back and you want to rub some of the oil on for the back pain, that works good there, and your body does absorb it, but it's not the best thing for like going to the brain. So whenever I put it on topically, I think of it almost as a poultice. It will go throughout the whole body, but the vast majority of it goes where you're putting it on the tissue. The tissue gets kind of selfish and says, I'm holding on to this stuff. And it doesn't allow all of it to get into the bloodstream. Does that answer your question?
She says yes, thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, so Nature's Sunshine has what, 7 products of hemp? And the reason why they have hemp, and it doesn't say Nature's Sunshine, is in Utah, it is illegal to do some of this stuff. And Nature's Sunshine says, we want to be in the up and up. So they went to their lawyers, and this is why they drug on forever to get this. I remember asking Matt Trips 7, 8 years ago about CBD oil. He says, we're trying. But they wanted to make sure that they were up and up, totally legal and up front. They had to work it out. Then they had to find a company that was willing to go through the hoops that Nature's Sunshine insists on for the quality of their products. Because there's a lot of company. I mean, my daughter told me that she went to Turkey Hill, which is kind of like a 7-Eleven for some places. I think Turkey Hill is just around here, but it's like a gas station. And you go in and get like sandwiches and stuff like that. Well, they have CBD oil in there. You can get CBD oil all over the place around here. but the quality wasn't there. And if Nature Sunshine is going to stand behind something, they're going to make darn skippy that their company's reputation is not going to be, brought down from it. So it took them a long time. Then, and this is unofficial, so this is what I was told by people, but Nature Sunshine will just say we were having some difficulties. But this hemp should have came out months before it did. They said, we're going to have it by September. Nope, we're going to have it by October. Nope, November. What I was told unofficially is the companies was good, but Nature Sunshine said, nah, we want you to do this else. Something else did. So they really helped fine-tune it before they launched it, which I'm glad. I know it's an inconvenience sometimes not having what you want, but I'm glad that Nature Sunshine is willing to say, no, we won't put this out on the market because it's not good enough. It's not to our standards. But that's why it does not have Nature Sunshine name on it. It's because it's illegal to do so. However, in Utah, where Nature Sunshine is, it is legal to have a daughter company prepare a product for you. But they have that separation because they are absolutely anal, excuse my language, anal about obeying the law. So we're going to go over some of their products. And like I said, it's pretty expensive. If you buy it retail or sell it retail, it's $85.95. The oils that I have been studying over the last couple of years, they range anywhere from $30, and that's usually if you get it at a gas station, to $275 to get 30 ounce. I get 1 ounce, which is 30 servings, or I guess dosages. There you go, 30 dosages. It's anywhere between $30 and $275, depending a lot on the quality of it, of course. So 85 really isn't that bad, especially since of the ones I researched, this is the best that's out there. Even better than ones that are like 150 and so on. I don't know about Joanne, but I sell it at member price. I sell it at whole price. $59.95 is not bad at all. But if you do want to do this as a business, and a lot of people do, you'd be making $26. Hemp CBD 17 is for lower dosages, people who cannot tolerate it. We're going to talk about how to find your perfect dose in a minute here. Or for people who are smaller. Now, I'm a big chick, so I don't need the wimpy stuff. But like Brene weighs about 6 pounds, 2 ounces, something like that. She's just a skinny little fart. So she may want to try the 17 milligrams first. See, Brene, you got married, so I have to pick on you. But she might want to try the smaller one because her body is not nearly the volume that mine is. Then they have the Hemp 30. And I want to tell you something about it. This is per dosages. So there's 30 milliliters in each bottle, which is about 30 regular dosages. Most companies tell you how much CBD oil there is in the whole bottle. So their numbers run differently than ours. They usually say, let's say, if our bottle was labeled the same as theirs, every dosage has 30 milligrams, and there's 30 milligrams in a bottle. This would be the same as another company saying they have 900 milligrams. So remember that, because whenever the first person I told them about it, they go, 30 milligrams, man, that won't do anything. We're taking 500 now, and we were hoping to go up a little bit higher. And I didn't know at the time. I went, oops, sorry, I don't know why they did it. So, of course, I asked for Nature Sunshine, and I found out that is the reason. They do it per serving, not per bottle. So if you are on another company and you're taking the 500, you may want to try the 17 instead of the 30, because this is going to be a lot stronger. And then again, it also has more terpenes and the turmeric that makes it, and the mid-chain triglycerides that makes it that your body absorbs even more of it. So remember that when you're trying to figure out dosages. A little dab will do ya, basically. And this is for people who are larger like me, or people who are new to higher levels. And again, we'll tell you about your sweet spot in a minute here. Then they have one that they added herbs that help with energy and alertness. And they call it their daytime formula. It's 25 milligrams, which would be the same as another CBD oil that's 750 for the whole bottle. I haven't tried this one. This one, this is my baby right here. This is my cottage cheese baby. I love this stuff. It makes me feel happier. Not that I was a sad person, because I don't think I myself was ever sad, but it really lifts my spirits. So I take that one. But this is for people who want more energy. I am going to try it maybe some later time, but I like the other one so much I stick with that. This is my daughter's baby. This is different. This is 375 milligrams. That's not per dose. It's per bottle. And they have it on here per bottle. Because you're going to put it on topically. This is on like a roll-on. You don't want to put it under your tongue, because it has things like lavender, magnolia, things that are not necessarily okay to take by mouth. You put it on for pain and inflammation. My daughter helped my granddaughter paint her bedroom. And from doing all that, her shoulders got really, really tight. And it was achy. She says, oh, Mom, I'm just in pain. And she said, I want to, do you have the pain patches? And I said, I have this oil. Would you like to try it? And she had my granddaughter rub it on her shoulders and her upper arms, and it totally, my daughter says, Mom, it just relaxed it. It just like totally went away. All the pain, all the tightness just melted away. Then she did some gardening, and I didn't know about this till today, or the other day, some gardening, and then she jumped on a trampoline with the kids. So her butt cheeks were really tight and sore. She felt almost like she had pulled the muscles in there between the gardening and the trampoline. I'm not sure which one did it. So her husband applied some of this night formula, and it just relaxed those muscles. And both of those nights, Nicole told me how relaxing her sleep was. She said she just felt like, and she said she slept so well. So she's gone through 3 bottles of this now between her and her kids, always having the same reaction. Okay, any questions?
Yes. Is there any experience of how any of these work for people taking the oil for menstrual cramps?
Nah, not that I know. How about you, Joanne? I've only really been working with this for about 6 months now, and I don't remember anybody
Uh,
taking it for menstrual cramp.
no, because anybody that I work with menstrual cramps, I use other things and that took care of it. But you could probably try this, the cream. That might help.
Yeah,
Or whatever it
yeah,
is, the roll-on.
right. So yeah, it's like a liquid. It's not a cream. It's like a liquid. You could try it. No, I don't have I don't have a lot of experience with this right now. But I've had absolutely, in 6 months, I've had absolutely no negative at all complaints. I had one person say, I think it works. And I have other people say it works as good as something they paid more for. And then everyone else says, wow, I love this stuff. So that's where it is. But I don't have a lot of experience from a lot of different things. Like I've never worked with epilepsy. Mostly it's pain, sleep, and calming are the things that I've worked with. That's it. That's pretty limited. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more, but that's all I know. Anxiety too. Also for anxiety. Okay. Any other questions?
That's it.
Okay. Most states you are allowed to get CBD oil. Idaho, North Carolina, and South Carolina, however, it is not legal to do so. For that reason, Nature Sunshine came out with something called Hemp Zero. Hemp Zero is made from just the seed. And again, this is per bottle. They use just the seed because the seed has no THC in it at all. And I think it has no CBD or CBN. I'm pretty sure about the CBD. I'm not sure about the CBN. I forgot to ask. But CBN is not illegal in any of the states, so it wouldn't matter anyhow. But if you live in any of these 3 states, don't worry, Nature Sunshine took that in consideration. They came out with the Hemp Zero. It's peppermint flavored. Never tasted it. Before, when I tried other cannabis oils and CBD oils, they had chocolate flavored and different things like that. The flavoring wasn't the highlight. It didn't seem to mask it for me. The only thing that seems to mask it for me is the cottage cheese. But try it, you know. Do you take your straight? Do you take this stuff at all, Joanne?
I do. Actually, I take the one that you didn't try, the energy one, but I use it for calming. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, the daytime. I got that one because I like the ingredients with the turmeric and everything, and I love it. I think it's great for calming, and I put it under my tongue and just let it sit there for like at least 5 minutes and just deal with the taste, and then I just drink something after.
Okay. So you don't mix it with anything?
No, I do it. Well, I do it after a meal, so like you to get the benefits of, with the fats.
Right. No, I
And
mean for the
then,
taste-wise. I'm talking about
oh
taste-wise.
no, I just do it straight.
Okay, is there anybody here that has known something they can mix it with, this brand or any other brand, that they can get it down them that the taste isn't so bad? So I really don't like using cottage cheese. I'm asking this for my own personal thing. Anybody?
They're saying no.
Darn. Okay.
Anybody I know just takes it straight. So
Yeah, I know, but you know me, I'm a real wuss when it comes to the way things taste. really, really bad the way things taste. So if you come up with it, you hear something, let me know, because I would be extremely
Mary
interested.
Kate says her husband takes it in orange juice.
Oh yeah, does he say it tastes okay in orange juice? I would much rather do orange juice than cottage cheese.
She's waiting for it to come in the mail. He takes
Okay.
Supreme and OJ.
It's better if you don't do an OJ, but we'll talk about that later. That's something else. Okay, so
And
if anybody comes
there's
up with something, let me know. Yeah.
And someone wants to know if CBD oil is good for inflammation.
My understanding is this. All of these products are beneficial for inflammation. That's my understanding. And I have a lot of people that have taken, I got to write this stuff down. I can't remember it all. I know that people have taken this, and it says it helps with inflammation. And I know that this one helps with inflammation. So Joanne, the one you use, do you know if it helps with inflammation or not?
Well, it has a turmeric in it, which is good for inflammation.
Oh,
so
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the CBD as well, but then that definitely yes.
And although I have not used this one, nor do I know anyone in Idaho, North Carolina, or South Carolina that they've had to use this one, but it's supposed to be good for inflammation, as is this. This one right here, the relief that you put on topically. These are supposed to be good for. And since it's made just from the seeds and not the whole plant, this is actually very reasonable. And so these two are supposed to be very good for inflammation as well. Inflammation and pain.
The hemp seed one, just the hemp seed, also has turmeric, peppermint, and ginger root, so it should help with inflammation as well.
Right. Thank you. It does.
And there's a comment. I've used body lotion with CBD, and I swear it helps any cuts I have heal in half the time.
I've heard that. People have told me that someone's kid was riding their bike and they fell off the bike and they skinned their knee all up, kind of like road rash, and they cleaned it out and it was painful. And they put the night one on, and they said that it took the pain out and it healed very, very quickly. So thank you for that, whoever said that. Okay, so this is 4 reasons why Nature Sunshine hemp is the best. Okay, we're going to go through like these. I have them separately here. All right. Number 1, they source the whole plant and they can prove it. Nature Sunshine has a mass spectrometer gas chromatography machine, topography, whatever this is. This machine right here, MSGC. It is the only nutritional supplement company in the world that owns one of these machines. They're like millions of dollars. There's only 5 of these machines in the whole world. Most of them are owned by scientists or pharmaceutical. So when Nature Sunshine test, and that's why I was told that it took so long, because the hemp oil was not quite up to this standard. If they did regular testing, they would never have picked it up. But this is only one of the 5 machines known in the world, and it passed that. They test for that. They add other herbs, like Joanne had said about the turmeric, the ginger, and I can't remember what the other one was. But they add oils that works that entourage, anyhow, that way of working it together that you get even more and better results. And it uses Nature Sunshine's scientists have been along all this time. Nature Sunshine's been doing herbs for almost 50 years. I think it's this summer or very shortly. It's 49 years at least, almost 50 years. I didn't even read this. I got this off Nature Sunshine. They had the MCT, the mid-chain triglyceride. And they use the stuff that stops the enzyme from breaking it down, the receptor sites from breaking it down. Okay, so how much do you take? There's something called the sweet spot. When I start taking something, I take a lot of it because I want to know if there's any side effects. If you're going to grow an ear in the middle of your forehead or something like that, I want it to happen to me and not happen to anybody else. So I took a lot of it in the beginning, more than I needed. I wasted it, and I was so disappointed. I thought, man, this stuff, I don't know. I don't think I'm even going to carry it. Matter of fact, I started this class and I stopped after I took it for a while. And I thought, I don't think so. I don't see that much of a difference. And I was taking a lot of it. I was taking like a third of a bottle. So I was taking 15 doses a day. Didn't feel anything at all. Then Dick Williams got me in the class that Craig Daly teaches. And if you guys want that class, I can call Craig Daly, and he'll have a small group, and he does Zoom, and he answers any questions you ask. He'll answer, and if he doesn't know it, trust me, he goes to the experts and he finds it out, because I've stumped him up a couple times. But he talked about the sweet spot, and he said, if you don't take enough, you don't get any results. If you take too much, which is what I was doing, ironically, you don't get any results. You need to find your sweet spot. So after he said that, what I did is I got the exact same one that I always use, the 30, and I started with a third of a dropper full. Didn't do anything for me. I did a half a dropper full. Didn't do anything. 75% of a dropper full. Didn't do anything for me. I did a whole dropper full. I saw something. Thought, oh yeah, I like this. I like this effect. I tried a dropper and a half. I didn't like it as well. So now I do a dropper and just a tip of a dropper, and that's my sweet spot. So some herbs, if anybody knows anything about herbs, I take an aggressive amount of herbs because I'm impatient and I want to get feeling good as fast as possible. But with this, too much will not get you in a better place. So the first bottle will probably take you, just add a little every day and keep a little journal. Okay, I did this much, this is how I felt. And then when you hit your sweet spot, then you know that's what you do.
Someone wants to know, why do you think there's a sweet spot?
I have no idea. But when Greg Daly said about it, I thought, well, okay, then I'll try this. And sure enough, I have no idea why there's a sweet spot. But I know he's right. There is. Okay, let's see here. If, and I don't push anything on anyone, I promise you. So you're not going to have me call you up and say, hey, you came to my class, sell this stuff. I am not doing that. However, most people right now could use a little extra money, especially with, you know, this quarantine crap and stuff I got going on. And virtually everyone can benefit from CBD oil. There is the potential of making a lot of money and income, and you don't have to leave your home. You can call someone up and say, you know, would you want to try this stuff? And a lot of people are hearing about CBD oil now. I mean, like Jimmy Carter, I think, said that he got rid of his cancer from using CBD oil, and there's a lot of people that know about CBD oil. So if you say, I know a place where you can get a high-quality CBD oil for very decent prices, do you want me to hook you up? You could do that. And there's benefits for doing it. You get a certain amount, and they give you free product samples. I'm waiting for this, and this is what I want. And stuff like that. There's also something called a hemp camp that you go and learn just about cannabis oil and stuff like that. It's like a 2-day, 2-night thing, kind of like a mini convention on CBD oil. So I don't push that a lot, I promise you. If you write to me and say what's best for me, I will help you. I will not push this on you. That's not who I am. I promise you it's not. But I want you to know there is a potential of doing pretty good. You know, I know Dick Williams does about 20 bottles a month, and he's at 92 and he doesn't leave his house. So 20 bottles a month times, let's say, 35. So that'd be the $700.
Yes.
Okay. $700. Okay, so he makes $700 plus he gets the QV and he gets money from that. So he probably makes $1,000 a month just because he mentioned it. You know what I mean? So I want you to know there is a potential for that. And it's not like you have to know a lot about the anatomy and all this other stuff, because you don't. It would be an easy way of making income, even to pay for your own or as an income. If you're interested at all, you can contact Joanne. See how I volunteer you for things, Joanne? You can call Joanne here. This is her phone number. This is her email. This is her website. I mean, her Facebook group. And she can help you, hook you up that you can order directly from Nature Sunshine, or you can just get it from her. Or if you want to do this as a business, contact her. If you want to join, if I have 5 people that want Craig Daly to Zoom with you every other week on Zoom, email me when and stuff like that, and we'll get that happening if you have a lot of questions. He also helps you in figuring out how you can approach other people. And he too will not know. He will send me the thing and I will send it to you. So you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, Greg Daly's going to be at my door saying, here, sell this. Because he's not. But if 5 people want to do that, you let me know and we'll do it. But tell me what day and what time. Okay, so are there any questions about CBD oil?
No questions.
Okay. Well, I think it helped a little bit that I asked in my Facebook group, tell me what questions you want, and I did try to cover them all. I hope I covered all the questions people said or suggested. Well, Joanne, thank you so much for helping me with this. I appreciate it immensely, as always. And also, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being willing to take care of the orders, so I don't have to do that anymore, because that's like my least favorite part of all this. And I really do. I appreciate you doing that, because it's a pain in the butt, and it's just something I don't want bothered with. I'm not very good at it. Like, somebody will say, I want this, now, oh, I forgot to order that yesterday. So, but thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And people are saying thank you. This was very helpful.
Well, thank you all for coming. And next week, next Tuesday, I think there's 3 or 4 classes on herbology. The next Tuesday one is on the yin and yang of herbs and diseases, and how you don't even need to know what an herb name is or the name of the disease to know what to use. That's the kind of stuff I like right there. So we're having that. I'm also have I typically every summer mentor 5 people how to learn about herbs and or the business, and I have 3 people so far filled up. I have 2 more people. If you're in Joanne's group or my group or any of my people's group, you email me or you call me, and we can set something up that I can be your mentor during the summertime, because I don't have classes during the summertime.
Someone says, I use CBD oil on my clients from CBD Clinic.
Very cool. What company do you use? Do you mind me asking? If it's personal, that's okay.
Massage Warehouse.
Oh, okay, I don't know. That one I haven't researched. I don't know. Might want to try this one and see how it compares. Okay, and what?
Sorry. And someone says they're on the Nature Sunshine website looking for hemp and nothing comes up. That's because it's its own website.
Right. Because legalities, you look under camp.com, and that's where Kemp stuff is. Although, let's say I personally use Una Degata, liver cleanse formula, urinary maintenance, parsley, and thyroid support. So whenever I order that and I order the Kemp, even though I have to order 2 different places, they both combine for my QV. And Nature Sunshine sends me the check. But yeah, they do that for legal reasons. So CampQEMP.com is where you order it. And they want you to have a sponsor. So remember that, this is Joanne. Joanne, is this your name for Nature Sunshine, or is it Williams at the end?
No, it's that.
Okay.
And if you already have a Nature Sunshine account, it's the same login for Kemp.
Yeah. There. And quite frankly, if you have questions, it'd probably be better for you to ask Joanne or myself, because the people in Kemp, they're not Nature Sunshine. You can tell they're not Nature Sunshine. And You'd probably get more answers from us than them. They're kind of closed-mouthed.
And yeah, they're you don't get a lot from them. Someone
No.
wants to know how to get the member price. If you contact me, I can help set you up with an account, and then you can get the member price. So you can email
Yep.
me for information.
All righty. Well, there's no questions. I hope we see you on the herbology class next Tuesday. If you have any questions later on, email me or ask Joanne. She knows a lot. She probably works with this even more than I do. So we'll help you. And we can't know the answer, we'll ask somebody. We have a whole network of people we can work with. All righty. Well, thank you all again. And Joanne, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You all take care, and we'll talk to you again sometime. Goodbye, everybody.